الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. It's my pleasure to have you in these number of sessions that we meet about the seerah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today there is an important topic that came to mind. Last time we talked about our love for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how the love that we have for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a way to the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we talked about how we should love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam by following his sunnah, by abstaining from what he warned against, by being with him in all aspects. Today, a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will come to mind, and to discussion as well, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with his companions one day, and he looked around and said, لو رأيتم إخواني لو رأيتم إخواني, oh, if you have seen my brothers. The companions around him were a bit surprised, and they asked a question, replied in a very surprising way. Aren't we your brothers? He said, Antum ashabi, you are my companions. You are my companions. إخواني الذين آمنوا بي ولم يروني. My brothers are the ones who believe on me without seeing. Because the Sahaba, the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were his. This is the real love of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for you and me, and all those who believe in him alayhi salatu wasalam. Though, have you seen Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? No. You can only see him on dreams, and not everybody would have that privilege to see Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But this is an indication of the relationship that we have with the great Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imagine, he's been thinking about you and me long time ago. Although he had his companions very close to him, but he didn't forget about us. So no matter how we love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we will never reach the love that he had for us. This is an indication of how we cared about us. How we cared about us. And this love is for all the prophets who follow him. You are a brother to Moses. You are a brother to Jesus. You are a brother to Abraham alayhi salam. And we remember the situation when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was elevated to heavens. And he described what he saw. Very long, Isra and Mi'raj. But there is one incident that I focus on, when the Prophet ﷺ went and he saw something like the Kaaba in the seventh heaven. And he saw the Malaika making tawaf around it. And he saw a man leading to the wall of that building. And when the Prophet ﷺ looked at that man, he said, that man looked exactly like me, like Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Do you know who that man was? Ibrahim. And he welcomed Prophet Muhammad ﷺ by saying, welcome, my son. And there is strong resemblance between Ibrahim ﷺ and Muhammad ﷺ. Look at this love. Welcome, my son. And he saw Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And when the Prophet ﷺ was about to leave, he said to him, اقرأ أمتك مني السلام. Pass my salam to your ummah. عليك السلام يا نبي الله. عليك السلام يا خليل الله. See, the prophets of Allah passing their salam to you. Who are we? But this indicates the real connection between all the prophets and the real followers of the prophets. It is the connection of love on the sake of Allah. And when that was reported to me, wallahi, I felt great sweetness of Iman. How come Ibrahim alayhi salam in heavens saying, "Oh Muhammad, pass my salam to your ummah." Subhanallah. And then we talk sometimes about love because it is the essence of Iman, love of Allah, of the angels, of the prophets, and followers who follow the prophets. It is the connection of Iman that brings us all together. And if you look in this room, somebody from the United States, just came to my mind, somebody from the Philippines, somebody from Kenya, somebody from Kenya as well, from England, from Saudi Arabia, from England, from India again, and we could have people. What is really bringing us together? It is Iman. It is the love for the sake of Allah. And this is because people sometimes nowadays talk about Valentine's Day and love, okay? But it's not real love. It's fake love. People want to create something because there is vacancy in their hearts and their mind. They just want to fill it with anything. Sometimes people have spiritual vacancy. They fill it with getting drunk, getting drunk. They just wanted to feel elevated, to feel high. See, using this word, but with fake instruments, with harmful instruments. The connection that we have with Allah, with His prophets, with the believers is based on real and true love. It's not a fake love that they're starting to create anymore. Even if you look at the love that is taking place in the world nowadays, it has been materialized. They make use of that. Okay? Great business. They start selling roses. Red roses are sold in millions for fake love. It's not real love. Everything turns red and sold during that time. After that time, nobody would buy it for a penny. Something which is worth $10 one day on Valentine's Day or before Valentine's. After Valentine's, it's worth $50, and nobody wants it. This tells you the quality and the value of love that they're selling. They are selling love, as a matter of fact. They're selling love, and love can never be sold. Love can never be sold. It emerges from the hearts and the minds of those who love for great reasons. And we know, and even when you talk about love between a man and a woman in Islam, it exists in the most pure form. You are really highly recommended to love your parents, to love your children, to love your sister, to love your daughters, to love your brothers, and to love your wife. And that's another sacred form of love. Because all love in Islam is sacred. Yes? The love of Allah is sacred and rewarded for in this life and in the here. The love for the prophets is sacred. The love of your parents is sacred. It's not based on benefits, on business. No, it is pure love. You do it in the best way possible. In the best way possible. And the love for your wife, it's not for materialistic aspects of life. It's not for these trivial, worldly, vanishing purposes. It is for a higher level. And the Prophet ﷺ was not shy to declare to everybody when somebody asked him, whom do you love the most? He said, Aisha. He didn't hide his love. Okay? You see, this is something that we should have for our own family members, for our wives. And our wives, they would have that for us and they could show it. Because this is the real and pure love. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us as well to love the closest ones to us in this way. But this love shall not be devoted to those who are enemies of Allah, enemies of the prophets. We shouldn't follow the love that is created for sexual purposes in that sense. It's not real love. It is not real love. It is materialistic love. And love is an abstract word in itself, and it has to be manifested in the most pure form. Therefore, that love will be appreciated and respected. I'll just talk about this topic here for a moment, and if you have anything to discuss, I'll listen to you, inshallah.
Sure. There's a question. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
Is it right to say Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad? Is it right?
Okay. Why would you ask this question? Because there is a reason behind it, okay?
Yeah, of course.
Is Muhammad Sayyidina or not? He is.
He's the leader.
I think there is no, there are many, it depends when you say it. When you're in the salah, say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Because if you add Sayyidina, he is Sayyidina. Sayyid al-Bashar. It's not only you, even all humanity. The Sayyid of them is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You see, Allah nominated him to be the best of mankind. But there is certain position, for example in Salah, he is the one who taught us Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, not Sayyidina here. Wa ala Muhammad, wa ala ali Muhammad. You see, كما صليت على Ibrahim. Ibrahim is our leader, master as well. Okay? But not in this position. But in any position we say Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Habibuna Muhammad. Khaliluna Muhammad. Qurrat ayunina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But in certain positions you don't say it in Salah. Because that is dictated by him. This is the love of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to follow him. And he doesn't teach us something out of his mind. وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ. He doesn't speak out of his mind. It's a matter of revelation. So what you say in Salah, you say, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, al-Kareem al-A'zam. You don't have to say that here. This is not the position. You could say it in a different way. You see, because you're taught to say it in a certain way. So there is something which is called mawquf, mean in between quotations. Just quote it as it is. And there is something that you could say it at any time. Okay? You know the difference, my brother? And Muhammad is Sayyiduna wa Sayyid al-Khalq ajma'in alayhi salatu wassalam. Any other questions that you have in mind? Salam. You've got to speak up a little bit, brother, so we could hear you.
Okay, I have a question now. It's not a question, it's just that you see some Muslims, they say for the love of the Prophet ﷺ, they want to celebrate his birthday. Are these things that are right?
Okay. This is a very interesting question. Birthday celebration has become part of Western society, and they have been really propagating it. And they do it for business. Everything in this society is based, because it's a materialistic society. We don't blame them, because the society is based on capitalism. Capital means money. And monopoly. So they bring new avenues for business, and they use religion for business. One day I went to Malaysia, to a city called Seremban. There was a conference there, and I went down the street to just walk, get bored. Sometimes these conferences are boring. I mean it. So I went down and there was a store, and they sell all these forms of statues. I thought this is used for some antiques or whatever. When you talk to the one, he said, no, these are gods that we sell. طبعا, as a Muslim, that you wouldn't really imagine people would take their god and buy your own god. And you go at home and you worship the god that you bought. But this religion has become materialized, has become business. And I joked, he was a sophomore at the engineering college. When I started joking with him, he said, do you believe in that? He said, that's the owner of the store. I don't believe in that. I said, oh, okay. Could you just tell me about these things? I was really carrying my bag and camera, a tourist, you see, a typical tourist. He said, what is this? This is the God of love. I said, who buys this the most? He said, girls. Because they're in need of love. And we don't give them the love that they are requiring. So they buy a God of love. SubhanAllah. He said about this, he says the God of success. He said, when is this bought the most? He said, it's bought by students during exam days. So there is, for any occasion, there is God that you could buy, and You feel some kind of, in psychology they call it comfort zone. You look for your comfort zone, a place that you feel, at least you deceive yourself. You deceive yourself. You deceive yourself. And you buy deception. You buy deception. And this is what's going on. The Prophet ﷺ, I'm saying this, realized how the Christians have deviated with their love of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. You cannot find a devoted Christian in the world who doesn't love Jesus Christ. And we cannot question, we don't question their devotion. Okay? But do they love Jesus, peace be upon him, as we love him? Now, before, Brother Muhammad was a Christian. And now you're a Muslim, see? And Dr. Abdul Rahman as well. Do you love Christ as you loved him before, or in a different form? Different way. Because you love him as a prophet. Before, if you were Catholic, you think of him as God, or part of Godhead. You see? But the Prophet ﷺ realized how this deviant love has led the Christians to deviate to an extent that they have nothing to do with Jesus anymore. Peace be upon him. Just like this is the road, you see, to Mecca, to Abha, to New York, to London, to Glasgow, wherever you're going. If you deviate here 1 meter, after 10 kilometers, the angle is going to be, here the angle was 0, turn to be 1, 2. The more you move, the greater the angle will become, and the distance becomes longer and longer and longer. The love of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us how to love him. He didn't leave us astray to choose the way we love him. Because the love of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is one of the greatest forms of ibadah. It is ibadah, a great form of worship to love Allah and His Prophet. Because a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, I love paradise. I want paradise." He said, "What did you do for it?" He said, "Well, very little salah, very little fasting. Not much that really qualifies me for paradise. But I love Allah and His Messenger." And so among the companions. He said, "You will be with the people you love. You will be with the people you love now in paradise." So the love of Allah is one of the avenues to paradise. And most of those people who think of celebrating the birthday of Prophet Muhammad or doing something that is not required by Prophet Muhammad or done by his companions, they do it by devotion. Sometimes they're very sincere. I can go to the exam and answer a question. I'm very sincere that this is the answer to this question. They find out, say, "Wallah, I was sincere." Are you going to be marked for that question? No. You see? So this is why in this deen we have 2 requirements for any form of worship to be accepted by Allah. First of all, sincerity. But the 2 should go together. The other one is following the path of Muhammad ﷺ, because Allah said, وَلِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. Say, "Oh Muhammad, if you really love Allah, follow me." Follow who? Abdullah, the sheikh, the neighbor, the pie, who? Follow Muhammad ﷺ. So these are the 2 conditions. This is why our deen is not open to additions. No. You make additions in everything in life, but not in your deen. Because the deen is done by Allah. It should be perfect. What we make as human beings, no matter how beautiful it is always imperfect. This is why we develop. This camera, after maybe 2 years, it will be obsolete. You throw it, you have to put it in your archives. Nobody will be using it. When the mobiles came to us 10 years ago, are you going to use that mobile anymore? No. You see, it's different. Now I bought this like 2 months ago. The time you buy it, something new will come into the market place. But deen is not like that. Because it has been perfected by the Creator. So the Prophet ﷺ did not ask for the celebration of his day. None of the companions celebrated his birthday. And I don't know why Muslims keep learning out about this. If you love Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, follow his sunnah. Make more salah. Say, "Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim." Every day. Try to do what pleases Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You stay away from what this pleases. Sometimes we work against Muhammad in all our life, but in that day of the year, which is not really, we're going to 600 greatest.
But they don't say.
And many don't even pray. Sometimes some of them don't even perform salah. So if you don't perform salah, you're not a Muslim. Right? And we celebrate even in wrong ways. People start dancing and playing music and doing. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تطروني كما أطرت النصارى عيسى بن مريم إنما أنا عبد الله ورسوله. Don't praise me in the way the Christian praised Isa, the son of Mary. So he insisted in saying, he's the son of Mary, because they say he's the son of. You see, even if you look at the words of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he meant every word that he said. I am only a slave of Allah, servant of Allah, and His messenger. Deal with me in that way. And this is the highest way of respect that we have Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as a prophet. Okay, this is the most elevated position. The companions, are we going to love Prophet Muhammad ﷺ more than Ali ibn Abi Talib? More than Fatima, his daughter? Are we going to love him more? No, never. You will never love Prophet Muhammad ﷺ more than Fatima loved him. Mustahil. Impossible. No, but we love him, but not that position. Aisha, Safiya, his wives, what's her name, Salama, all these they lived a long time after Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Has it ever reported to us that one of his wives celebrated the Prophet's birthday? And made it a Valentine Day for her? No, I'm not joking, I'm just reading. Because this is logical. This thing is not really, we could make up new things in it. Allah perfected it for us. Actually, when we do that, we accuse Prophet Muhammad ﷺ of not fulfilling his requirement as a prophet. When Allah said in the Quran, Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum. Say, Muhammad, today I have completed your deen for you. Wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-Islam dinan. So, I mean, the answer is really clear, and just want to go around it to make things clear. Sometimes it's a misconception that Muslims create about that. And, if you don't celebrate the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, you don't love him. No, it's the opposite way. When you celebrate the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, you don't love him, because he warned against that. It's the other way around. Yes, my brother.
So materialistic, because this is done by business people also encourage, because those days people buy more foodstuffs and distribute the people. So to increase the sale also, these people, they do this.
Actually,
just for following the pagans, the Christmas, how the sale is increasing. So same way there's some narrow.
We start buying gifts on the birthday of Prophet, just like you buy gifts in Christmas.
Yes, and other days they don't do that. Because for Allah, any deed done, even a small deed should be consistent. Not just do for the one day and leave it for the rest of the year. It is like that.
لهذا when we make more salah, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, even the Prophet ﷺ said, who is the miser? Some people might say, a stingy person is a person who does not spend to feed his family, to do something. He said, no. He is the person who I mentioned, and he doesn't say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You see, to this, some people forget about that. They watch everything in their life, they do everything, but they don't remember Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at all. Only on that day they start doing something which has never been taught by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Yes, my question.
How to conduct a Sijda Tilawa while in Salah? Sijda Tilawa while in Salah.
I don't know what you mean.
Tilawat.
Sijda.
Sajda Tilawa. Oh, Salah, okay. My brother is talking about a different topic, but it's something that is, for example, when you read Quran and there is a sajda, okay, you just go down and prostrate and make sujood. You go back and continue your salah. Okay, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
But before going to say Allah Akbar, then go for sajda.
Then you go for sajda. Then you turn back to the position in which you was before. Either you continue your tilawah or you make a ruku after that. Okay?
So you can say Subhanallah.
You want to know what you say there?
No, I know, but first.
Says Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Okay, then you say Allahu Akbar again. Okay? Jazakallah khairan. Yes, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Basically, in your expert opinion, is Yazid responsible for the martyrdom of, Hussein? What do you think in the context of Karbala incident? So there's so many confusion and contradiction about it, especially from Shia Muslims. They have different school of thought. Exactly. So, what do you think about it?
Let's set a standard for our own perspective of our deen. This is the general framework. Where do we get our deen? From who? From Allah. Then from His Messenger. How did they get it from Allah? Through Jibreel and His Messenger. So it was kept at that time and came to us as it is. What do we get from about the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that we take as a deen that we practice? From his companions, through unbroken chain of narration. And this is why there is a science of hadith called the science of hadith. That does not exist. The science of hadith means the science of transmitting the discourse of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. This is very highly sophisticated avenue of knowledge. I don't know, some people in linguistics here or something, they call it discourse analysis. We analyze your discourse. Okay? So at that time there was even more sophisticated field called science of hadith. Why did they bring up that science of hadith? This started in the 2nd century of Islam. Because some people started reporting false hadith, fake hadith. They make up hadith about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And they had to set criteria based on which they could tell this is sound hadith Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, this is we don't know. And this has to be rejected. This is, ya Akhwan, why Allah kept our deen for us. Because we had a sister, she passed away recently, Dr. Azziya Taha, rahmatullah alayha, from Sudan. And she made a study, and she passed away. Rahmatullah alayha. Okay. She's a teacher of hadith, a professor of hadith. Anyway, her PhD dissertation was on this topic. Not the topic of the Yazid, but I just wanted to make the perspective. Sometimes people will take things out of context, start speaking about them. It's not really right. Okay, and this is why we either misguide people. Just like the idea of, say, he doesn't celebrate the birth of Prophet Muhammad. Okay, that means he doesn't. You see, either you're with Yazid or against Yazid. This is not the way Islam taught us. Only with certain perspectives. Okay. So let's go to this. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina. The science of hadith emerged, and they found out that hundreds of sayings that were claimed to be said by Prophet Muhammad were not. And this is why you find volumes called Hadith Da'if, or Hadith rejected Hadith. And Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. Okay, Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah. You find the books, and they have this method of scrutiny, and it continues until today. Because we don't accept anything to be our deen unless we make sure it is part of our deen. Nobody is dictating anything to us. And she made a comparison between how the hadith was collected to Prophet Muhammad and how the New Testament Gospels were collected. The sayings of. She couldn't really compare that with how the Quran was collected because there is no way to compare. The Quran was revealed in full, it was kept intact, was reported by hundreds and thousands of the Sahaba from one generation to another until today. And most of the Qur'an, the reciters, they don't take it from books, they take it from, they say, I'm number 37 to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is number 30, and they get it through hearing. You see? It's not a matter of Allahumma salli ala habibillah. So, there is something called history. History of Islam, history of Muslims. And it has been written by many people at different political eras. And we know politicians at every time, people in control want to write history based on their own interest. Okay, it's going to serve their own. And they had historians working for them. Okay, the issue of Ali ibn Abi Talib and radiyallahu anhu and grandsons of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Al-Hassan and Hussein. I mean, their love is in the veins of every Muslim. A person who does not love them is a munafiq, is a hypocrite, is a liar, is a person who claims something which is not true. Loving Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you must love those people. Because we'll devote, inshallah, a number of sessions talking about those, the family of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how the love of family of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is part of our deen, because he's the one who brought this deen to us. And our due respect for him is to love his family, the family members who follow his path, who follow his way. You see, you might have a family member who's deviating. That is not required, because the love that we have the family members of the Prophet Muhammad is part of the love that we love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see? This incident about Yazid and how we dealt, there are many narrations, historical, and the Shias might have their own perspective. Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they might have perspective. Some other historians might have perspective. The Orientalists might have their own perspective. But we should have a stand. We shouldn't care about how things were taken. But anybody who has committed a sin against the Prophet ﷺ with his family members, unjust way, will be inshallah treated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We hate that action. We think it's wrong. No matter who did it, even if it's my father or grandfather, whatever, whether it's Yazid, whatever. Okay? And those, yes, they have suffered, Al-Hassan and Hussein, they have suffered a lot. But how do we treat their suffering? You see, another thing, just like the birth of Dirham, you take, and you start hitting your head, the blood comes out, and you create a day of mourning. There is a day of celebration, there is another day of mourning, and somebody's crawling to the grave of Al-Hussein, and you cry around it, and you say, Husseina, oh, help us. We can't do that. You see, this is another deviation that it's sometimes this kind of deviant love, because there is, even as we think of the love as a form of ibadah, you see, we should look how to devote it. Okay? With sincerity, those people may be very sincere to the love of Al-Hussein, of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. And this love should be for all of us. Okay? Because it's part of our deen, is to love them. You see, about our own belief in Allah. You will be rewarded for it. But when you deviate in applying that love, then you are not really loving them in the right way they should be loved. You are not loving them in the way they should be loved. You love them in the way you wanted to love them. Just like when you make salah, you want, let's say, voluntary salah. And are you going to be rewarded for it? You say, before Asr, I'm going to make 2 rak'ahs, and these 2 rak'ahs, they are sunnah ratiba. I mean, what? Sunnah, organized sunnah of the Asr. Are you going to be rewarded for it? No. Why? Because there is no organized sunnah before Asr. But because I'll go to the masjid, and the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah will have mercy upon the person who prays 4 rak'ahs before Asr. But it's not my intention, it's not for the organized sunnah that we do before salah, certain salah. Like before al-Fajr, there is 2 rak'ahs. You see? There is 2 rak'ahs, and that's the time for it. Who taught us that? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But before Asr, there is not like that. There are 4 rak'ahs you want to do it voluntarily, that you want to have mercy of Allah be upon you. You go, I'm coming to the masjid now, and this is salutation for the masjid. You see how your intention would make a big difference? The 2 rak'ahs that you make in there, thinking this is organized, and they call Salat al-Ratiba. Before Asr prayer, the Prophet ﷺ never dictated that for us. You're creating something out of... So we love Al-Hussein, and I think Yazid was wrong if he mistreated Al-Hussein and his family. You see, that is really authentic that this has taken place. Because history, there are many things in history that we'll find out later on that they were not true. And this is why historians, real historians, what they call them critical historians, they make comparison between different narrations and they study them. Okay? But if that has been really, truly done that any of the family of the Prophet ﷺ, any injustice was done against them by any human being, by any human being. We should have a stand. If we were there, we should defend them. And at least we have a say. But not to create enmity among the Ummah. There is a big difference. You see? Either you're with me or you're against me. It doesn't come that way. You mean with me, you follow what I say. You start hitting your head, going around the grave, you slap your face, you take the kids and hit their heads, and the blood coming out, and you make this kind of mourning. This is not part of Islam. We don't do that for the death of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is greater than any who comes after him. You see, Abu Bakr is greater than all the companions of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Umar is greater than all the companions of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Uthman, Ali, we didn't do that for them. Why do we do it for Hussein? You see? And even we shouldn't do it for Hussein. I wish Hussein is here, I could kiss his feet. Because the love that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had for that. And this is probably one of the, inshallah, lessons that we have, episodes that we talk about how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ treated children. And those were the ones who were close to Prophet Hassan and Hussein. They were the base of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Rayhan Rasulullah ﷺ. When they would come close to him, he would smell them. He would love even to smell them. So those people we love so much because the Prophet ﷺ loved so much. And they deserve all the love. But the love that they deserve in the way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and please Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah reward you for this is a very good question. So we'll stop for today. Thank you. May Allah reward you. Thank our brother Saeed for taking his time to videotape this incident. Therefore, other Muslims, inshallah, and non-Muslims may benefit from that. And you will be participants in that by your questions, by your discussion. And we have realized from the beginning that this is a place of discussion. We speak our minds. We discuss what we have. We make sure that we understand the way of Prophet Muhammad, Sunnah Prophet Muhammad in the best way possible. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you.